Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of I Want to Talk Movies.
I want to talk movies.
I would love to talk movies.
All right. Well, I'm Andy.
I'm Patrick.
And I'm Drew. What was that?
All right, we're coming to a good start, everybody. Anyways,
Wow.
so today we have another get to know us segment. You threw me off, Patrick. Damn you. Anyway, after that, we're going to talk about what we've been watching.
Yep.
And after that, we're going to review Kingsman, Golden Circle. So, yeah. Anyways, glad to be back. I know we skipped last week.
That was my fault. I apologize.
I think
for that.
I should take the blame for it, to be honest.
Why?
Because you take the blame so much. As
I mean, it is.
You sent a text saying...
You kind of threw me under the bus there. That was like
oh my god, I love your text. It's like reading a story.
I feel so bad. I feel like I have to really explain myself to you guys. I
almost just left swipe that shit or whatever. It's like a novel. I don't know.
Yeah, you guys always just send back nah, it's cool.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is though, I'm glad that you still care. You want to keep this going. So
yeah,
it's
of course I want to keep doing this.
I'm like, dude, it's gonna be cool.
I
want to keep coming back.
I
want to keep doing this.
It's just like, okay.
So
yeah, which is. Just for anyone listening, that is the worst thing you can respond to a heartfelt long text is a small that's like no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is
So
let's move on. I don't want to dwell on that.
Well, I want to dwell a little bit. I know that this past weekend, not this past weekend, but the weekend, before that, it was someone's birthday, right?
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Morgan, if you're listening, it was your birthday.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
True.
What do you mean, sure?
Anyways, we know it was your birthday.
My birthday?
Yeah,
you're talking about my birthday?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the time I had to skip because I was going to my friend's birthday.
No, that was after, but before that...
What?
We got some
God! Are you guys serious?
Yeah.
Oh...
We just gave him a shirt that says "I am a loser" on it.
Yeah, it's a big arrow pointing at my face. Oh, thank you guys. Oh my god.
Right, Drew, tell them what it really is.
It's 2 pot stickers from Andy's favorite restaurant. They're really dumply too. It's great.
Dumply.
No, yeah. We were just talking about pot stickers before
We're gonna coin that phrase, dude.
It's a PlayStation gift cards. It's 2. Thank you so much, guys. This is so nice. Thank you. Yeah. After I bailed on you guys so much this last month.
After you cheated and betrayed us, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Well, we hope you had a good birthday.
I'm gonna spend these tonight.
Yes.
I don't even know on what yet, but I'm gonna do it. Oh.
All right. We'll hug it out later. Don't worry.
I bought Fighter Pack 2 for Injustice yesterday.
Yes.
It's been perfect. So
I'm
thank
excited.
you so much.
I'm excited.
Oh.
All right. Well, let's move on to our first segment.
Guys.
In the first Kingsman, we have the amazing Samuel Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
So we had, we just wanted to talk about him this week. And so the question this week that we have is, what is your favorite Samuel Jackson moment on screen? So
okay.
Let's start with you, Drew.
All right. Okay. So I have a runner-up for this. So on screen, my favorite moment is in Snakes on a Plane, and the made-for-TV version when they're talking about getting snakes out of the cabin of the plane, and Samuel Jackson is fed up, and instead of saying motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane, he says these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane, and that just tickles me pink. That is in. I don't know if he did the line or they found someone who sounded exactly like Samuel Jackson, but goddamn, it is perfect. And then my runner-up moment is not on screen, so I can't. The effects are on screen, but it has to be runner-up, honorable mention. Is that as Mace Windu, he just requested. He said, "Nah, I need a purple lightsaber if I'm gonna do this," and years and years and years before that, it was red is evil, Obi-Wan has blue, green is for good guys, and Samuel Jackson comes on screen with a purple fucking lightsaber, and it's just
It's Samuel Jackson.
But the thing is, when you saw Samuel L. Jackson walk on screen with a purple lightsaber, did you question it?
No.
You're like, oh yeah, no, for sure. He would definitely have a dope purple lightsaber. Like nothing seems weird about this. So for making that work, thank you, Samuel. Thank you.
And, all right, Patrick, you on the spot.
Okay, I guess I'll start off with my favorite film moment. Also, you two should know mine right now, which is Deep Blue Sea.
Yes.
Yep.
When he gives his fantastic speech about working together, when everyone hates him, and he's walking closer and closer to the water. And everyone's getting inspired, and the music is just perfect. It's just oh my god, you're on the edge of your seat.
It was a great
Samuel
speech.
Jackson, we're gonna do this, and the shark just comes out of nowhere, grabs him, and then one of the characters is just oh, he was just making the speech. There could not be a more disheartening scene in almost any movie.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh my god.
And if Samuel Jackson has to go out, that's just the way that he would go out.
Yeah, he even his leg kind of fizzles off too, and it's twitching after when it's he's kind of CGI'd or whatever. But
It just reminds me of the Chappelle bit.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a fucking shark ate me.
I remember watching that movie for the first time and just what?
it is one of the most surprising scenes of all time.
Oh my god, yeah, top 10.
Now
top
you
10.
just wait for it every
I know,
time you watch it.
That is the rewatchability is for that.
Yeah.
You're here it goes. Because I remember watching that and really being inspired by his speech. I was like, man, they're gonna make it out of this. Samuel Jackson is gonna lead them to the surface, and they're gonna be all right. And then, chomp chomp.
Okay, and then when Drew mentioned off camera Samuel L. Jackson, I also have a favorite off camera Samuel L. Jackson, and that's every time he chews someone out, usually an interviewer, or for thinking that he's Lawrence Fishburne.
What?
Everyone thinks Samuel L. Jackson was the guy in The Matrix.
They thought it was Morpheus.
Yes, they thought he was Morpheus.
There's a clip. There's actually a clip. If you look it up, there's a clip.
An actual interviewer thought he
actual-
was...
No, there's multiple interviewers that screw this
I
up.
just know
God.
one.
There's quite a few. He's confused for
that's awesome.
mainly Lawrence Fishburne. I think he's
Jesus
confused for the Allstate guy. I forget his name.
I really only know him from the Allstate commercials.
He's in movies.
He's
too.
in movies.
Yeah.
He was in The Dark Tower. And
That's right. He was
didn't see that one.
He was the dad in the Dark Tower. That's
Yeah,
right.
and he's been on a couple shows too.
But they're hilarious because Samuel L. Jackson is ruthless on these
They don't
interviewers.
even look similar.
That's his point.
They're both
He's
bald. That's it.
he gets so upset at them, and he just puts a match under their ass.
Yeah, as he rightfully should.
And they're always I mean, not to be racist, but they're always white too. So
I'm gonna say it. That's a little racist.
Yeah.
That's a little racist that you're confusing a black actor with 3 other black actors.
It's just so crazy.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I mean, I love Samuel L. Jackson. The reason why we brought him up today was because there's so many movies, and sometimes you rewatch a movie and you're like, oh my god, he's in this movie? That movie for me has always been Jurassic Park. I always forget he's in Jurassic Park.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. He's Newman's arch nemesis. I honestly don't know the actor's name.
The character's name.
No.
Oh, you're talking about
the
Newman.
actor who plays Newman on Seinfeld.
Yeah.
And then he's Samuel Jackson. He kind of have that coding rivalry.
Oh, the other moment where he's trying to break in. That
you can't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's so great.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson, you're great.
Damn, I forget that's a deep cut, Patrick. Deep cut.
Well, going off of that, the one thing, I'll get into my thing of Samuel Jackson. I just love, first of all, I love his relationship with Quentin Tarantino. He has been in every single Quentin Tarantino movie, except for one,
Reservoir Dogs.
which is Reservoir Dogs.
Wow.
But it's cool.
He really has, hasn't
Yeah.
he? Yeah.
It's cool because like Tarantino will be like,
Well,
hey,
he's been
Samuel
a
Jackson.
part of every movie,
Yeah, he's
right?
been a
He's
part.
not necessarily.
Well, he's like appeared, right?
Yeah, he was
well,
weird.
he's either like a voiceover or he's.
Oh,
Played a small, or he
interesting.
played a small part, whatever, big or small. Tarantino always sends him like a script or like says, hey, is there a part that you want in this project?
Oh,
Like in Kill Bill Volume 2, like he's the piano guy. When they're choosing a song, and he's like, "Oh, what song do you guys want? What song do you guys want?"
Wait, what scene is that? Which?
When they're getting ready for the wedding, the rehearsal.
Oh,
Yeah. My mind
Drew's
was
getting
blown.
his mind
Yeah, no,
blown
you guys
right
are.
now.
I mean, I knew Samuel Jackson was in a lot, but excuse me. Yeah, you guys are really.
And even narrating in Inglourious Bastards, like
Yeah.
he narrated the Hugo Stiglitz. Or I forgot his name, but
Hugo Stiglitz.
Stiglitz. Yeah.
God, Stiglitz is the man, dude.
But so going off that, like of course, one of my favorite Samuel Jackson moments has to be like the amazing dialogues that he's given, and the most iconic dialogue that I love hearing is the Pulp Fiction dialogue.
Yeah.
The Bible verse, and it's just so iconic. It's scary as hell, and it just shows how much of a badass he is. Like he lives up to the name, badass motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know that's not an actual Bible verse.
Really?
Yeah, no, it's I don't know if Tarantino wrote it or if he ad-libbed it, but it's not a Bible verse.
Damn.
Yeah, or at least it's not the one that he like quotes. You know, I thought that was a little interesting little factoid about that.
Did I get the name on the wallet right? It's
Yeah, badass motherfucker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. I want to share.
My friend had that wallet in college. Yeah, it was awesome.
So yeah. So Samuel Jackson, we all love you.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into what
He's
we've been
gonna be on the
watching.
show next week if you guys want to.
Oh man, I like would love to like just come and cuss us out. Like I would.
I wouldn't, dude.
would not
I would
want
not,
to be
dude. I
cussed
don't. I
out.
don't have skin that thick.
Yeah.
He would tear through me like paper. Like I would. Yeah. Like.
I'd run.
Oh, man.
That's the only thing I
I
know
would be
how
on
to
it,
do.
whatever. Just, it's just I don't know. But yeah, so but yeah, let's get into our next segment into what we've been watching. Patrick, let's start with you.
Okay, well, I've obviously watched more than you guys.
Yeah. You're
But,
doing the heavy lifting.
I really wanted to talk about this last week, but we couldn't.
So sorry.
Yeah, sorry. We finished American Vandal,
Oh.
and I love that.
man.
You need to watch it.
I do.
Drew.
I do.
I love that show. I thought it was just amazing. You know,
Oh.
I think there's some holes in it, but I think that's kind of explained by how naive the high school characters filming it are.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you can probably, poke some holes in it, but I would say, like, it's because he's a flawed director. Like, he's just starting out.
And they're kids, and they don't forget that, which is kind of what I really appreciate about this.
So you're saying that's kind of an intentional decision
Yes,
with the
I
Netflix
think
show,
so. Or,
as
like, that's
opposed
their
to-
reasoning why it's kind of,
Okay,
like...
Gotcha.
Kind of feels like fake or like a little like dramatized.
Okay.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Dramatized?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dramatized? Yeah, dramatized.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on top of that, I watched a lot of animated stuff, mostly Netflix originals. So I watched Neo Yokio.
Oh.
It's a weird little anime made by Urza Koing, which is like the main singer of Vampire Weekend or something like
What?
that.
That's
wow.
Wait, I had no idea that's
Yeah.
what...
He's like
Huh.
I think so. I think I got the band right. I know he's like the main singer / guitarist for some band. I'm pretty sure
Okay,
it's that
okay.
one, though.
Yeah.
So it's just a weird little anime starring
Jaden Smith.
Jaden Smith.
And if you've ever seen Jaden Smith's tweets... Have you ever seen his tweets? Have you guys read?
Nope.
read-
No.
Oh my god! It's the writings of a madman. It is insane. How can we look in mirrors if we can't see our eyes? I'm pretty sure that's one.
Ooh.
It's like, what the fuck are you talking
That
about?
seems pretty deep,
There is
though.
my eye. I'm looking at my eye. Like, dude. There's I don't mean to totally derail you here, but I actually saw a little comic someone had made from his tweets.
Sure.
And it was like a post-apocalyptic. They basically just took his tweets and then shoehorned them into a comic, and it was insane.
sounds
And that's
amazing.
kind of what I'm imagining Neo Yokio is like.
I don't think it's really about like Jaden Smith in a sense. It's just he's this young, rich wealthy character. The whole show just
sound like Jaden Smith.
It just makes fun of like society, mainly the upper class, and how pompous they are. I think I'm willing to watch a second season, but this was, on the lacking side. Like some parts of it were like pretty funny, but for the most part, it's like pretty dry. But I feel like it could get there because it almost feels like at least it's pretty unique compared to the animes that I've normally watched. But
it's an American produced anime, essentially,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
So there's not too many of those, but there are some. Yeah, so I mean, Neo Yokio's not there yet. Hopefully, it can get there.
Mm-hmm.
I have some hope for it. It's not doing too good with ratings, but
I was about to ask.
Yeah, it's like low 20s or something. Whatever. Movie that I have to recommend.
Ooh.
It is a kids movie though. The Little Prince is freaking amazing.
That won awards.
God,
didn't it? Did that win an Oscar?
It was mind blowing how good this. So it's a lot like Up, where it's like kind of like it's not really funny throughout the thing, and you'll get like a couple of laughs, but like just like the imagery is super beautiful, and just the story is just magnetic. Just get pulled into it. And it's just like, oh my god, and it's the relationship between an old guy and a young girl, so pretty similar to Up in that sense, but oh my gosh, like I love like all the crazy metaphors and stuff. I think it's all about like it's kind of almost my interpretation of it is it's like almost teaching the kid like the life cycle in a sense.
Oh,
is
interesting.
how I interpreted it. Because death is a very big part of it, but it's like not really like like it tries to teach the child like it's not really a bad thing, it just is kind of thing.
That sounds fascinating.
It was amazing. Like I honestly think
this is a children's movie.
Yeah, this is a children's movie.
That's big concepts for a children's movie.
Yeah, but that's it's not something like a child would necessarily pick up on. But there's a lot of cute characters. They do a lot of kind of like quirky things, but it was great.
It's on
cool.
Netflix.
This is a Netflix original. Yeah,
awesome.
Great.
I revisited F is for Family because I watched the first episode and I didn't really like it, but I was like, check the reviews for it, and they're like super positive. I'm like, how is this? So I rewatched it, and I really liked it. So this is like it's a very heartfelt show too. It's about a family and their struggles because they're like lower middle class or like or poor, lower class family, and they're trying to get by and they have all their like conflicts and stuff, and it's pretty funny. Bill Burr is the main character, is the dad in it, and he's a pretty awesome comedian.
No, yeah, he's definitely got the comedian.
But I don't think the first episode is a very good starting point. I think it's kind of off-putting in a sense because it's Bill Burr is yelling a lot in that episode, which he does great, but it's kind of off-putting. I saw the first episode, and that is exactly how I felt about it. You need to watch.
It just felt like
one or two more after that, and you'll like it.
So you say around episode 3 it starts to pick up?
I would say episode 2 is actually really good, but just to like cement yourself into it, I think episode 3. But after episode 3, I couldn't stop watching because I was like, I got really connected with the family. Like Justin Long is in it.
I do.
There's a lot of big names in that.
So F is for family.
F is for family. And I'll end with this one. Big Mouth just came out this last weekend.
Big Mouth.
Sorry. Who's in it?
You
I
showed me
just
a little
showed
bit.
you the first episode.
I know nothing about
Nick
this.
Kroll.
Nick Kroll is the main character.
Oh, okay.
A bunch of other comedians are in it. John Mulaney is the next main character. Both very famous comedians, both of them. It's really funny. It's all about puberty. So the show, it's really offensive material. Maybe not really offensive, but it's very explicit. They're swearing, and it's children masturbating. And I understand that sounds off-putting, but it's actually really funny, and I almost feel like it's supposed to help parents teach kids because parents sometimes have a hard time talking to their kids about puberty and masturbation and
scenes.
sex. Like
Super
this
awkward,
is
Start
yeah.
getting
it's
hair
kind of
in
like
weird
one of
places.
those things that I think can help a parent like teach a kid in a sense when they're appropriate age, of course, because the show is pretty rancid, but I loved it.
Damn.
Like it's a good show. And my random horror movie for the week was A Christmas Horror Story, and I thought that
A
was
Christmas
pretty awesome.
Horror Story.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. It's one of those horror movies where there's like 3 or 4 different like mini stories going on, and they're all kind of like Christmas themed. So yeah,
I dig it.
I enjoyed it.
Nice.
All right. What do you got for me, Drew?
So, I did not watch much these past weeks. I went camping, I've been working, so I only have 2 rewatches. But one, I'd like to talk about this one because I watched this with 3 kind of children who'd never seen it before. And this was Napoleon Dynamite.
Kind of children. Please
Well,
tell me
they're
more
like-
about these kind
they're
of
like-
children.
They're like just teenagers or like just 13, so if you called them children, they'd be upset.
They're
you know?
tweens.
Tweens, yeah. So I watched it with like 3 tweens who had never seen it before, and you know, it's a very different generation than when Napoleon Dynamite came out.
Right.
So
How'd they react?
they thought it was funny, but there was a lot of stuff that just kind of like, why is this? Why is that? And at one point they started like all like IMDbing it on their phone, which I thought was kind of ironic because it's like throughout the film I was thinking, oh man, like this when I watched it came out and it's hilarious and like it's so different with kids now, and I look over and they're all on their phone and I was like, yeah, no, it totally is. Great movie, classic movie. I hadn't seen it in years, and I love that movie so
That's
much.
like one of those movies where you love it or you hate it. There's no like, oh, it's okay. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, no,
people
it
are
truly
very
is.
divided on this movie.
It is divisive. I'll give you that. But one of my favorite things about that movie is the soundtrack. John Sweetheart does the soundtrack for it, and it just gets me every time. And he also did it for Nacho Libre, and
Right.
yeah, he's done a couple of those things, and
The same directors too, right?
I believe so. Yeah, just hilarious movie. Just the humor in it is so like it's just out there. It's almost
so
avant
different
garde.
compared
I want to
like
say
most.
because I feel like people our age, the whole kind of meme culture, like this could fit in really well with that. The whole kind of awkward, kind of retro vibe to it all, and about kind of the underdog nerds coming out on top, and it's just it. In the end of the day, it's a story about friendship as well. And I don't know. I think there's a lot of themes that kind of resonate today as well. And it's just kind of interesting seeing that, and it kind of made me think about how much it's shaped people who saw it when they were young, like when it came out, kind of like their perception of humor, you know, because there's not like jokes. It's a lot of like awkward situations that are just funny. So it was really interesting rewatching that. And then I think we both saw this one, Andy, Heavyweights.
Yep.
Classic. Okay,
Yep.
when Disney films were
amazing,
so good. So I mean, not to like bash on Disney films today, but they wouldn't have had a movie about like kids at fat camp, it just there's so much like inappropriate stuff and like
it's so great.
perfect.
Like, and here's the thing though, like there's like I forgot his name, Jude. I forgot. Okay, so the guy who's directed Bridesmaids.
He played Counselor Pat.
That guy. He wrote.
Not oh shit! I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
look him up.
Yeah.
But he did the Bridesmaids. Ghostbusters was all the women, and he did I Spy with Melissa McCartney, and so he actually wrote this movie as well.
In the past 10 years, he's kind of had his finger in a lot of like strong comedies that have come out in the past.
Because I feel like you said,
so.
this is inappropriate humor, right? Because like it might be a little more crude for like the younger children, but like it's still great humor in the movie. Mm-hmm. Just definitely, I rewatched this myself because I wanted to pick me up, and it's just one of those childhood movies that like I adore. And I was thinking about it, I'm like, I don't know, like it's such a great like I think body positive movie in a sense, right? Because like the whole thing is just fat shaming, but at the end of it, like the message is, yes, like be healthy, but like feel good about yourself. It's more important. But regardless, though, like it has an amazing cast. Like Kenan Thompson is in it.
Paul Feig.
Paul Feig, that guy.
There we go. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, so he had his hand in it, and like it's just, and then Ben Stiller.
Let's not forget Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller at his peak.
Oh my god.
At his peak.
This and Zoolander are like two of my like the funniest Ben Stiller things for me out there. It is the percusizing and oh my god, when in the beginning when he runs down the aisle and no one gives him a high five,
and then one kid's like, yeah.
Oh.
And then the other guy who stole the show, I don't know the actor's name, but he plays Lars.
Let's see if I can.
And that's just, that whole dynamic was just incredible. Just there's so, and I think one of the things I really love about this movie is that there's so many quotable lines, and that character
it really
has,
is rife with them.
Yeah.
You can.
It can go
Tom
on
Hodges,
and on.
who played Lars.
And I am Lars.
I make a very alarming noise when I sleep, but I am fine. Do not worry. And it's just, oh my god. And I just have to say it because this is one of my all-time favorite lines in any movie is when they're raiding the cabin for snacks. And Ben Stiller is like going through all their like secret hideouts, and he's like knocking on walls and stuff to find fake compartments. And he opens up a bedpost, and he pulls out a big salami. He goes, "Oh look, a deli meat!" And he just like throws it away, and it just I can't even say it without laughing. It's just.
The thing's so he takes that role so seriously. There's like what is it, like the like a mini flashlight thing? He like points something like an opening, and he like pulls out candy out of nowhere,
knocking up the wall.
Yeah, it's incredible. Oh man, but
it's like seriously like top 5 funniest scenes for me. It's like, oh look, a deli. I can't. Oh, it makes me lose it. I can't.
And so this is on Netflix. Take a look,
Yeah, accessible for anyone.
Yeah. So I'll get into what I've been watching. So yeah, I watched Heavyweights since we just discussed that. Patrick actually watched this with me too. That's in a Netflix original, The Incredible Jessica James.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and this movie is just delightful. Like, it's fun. It stars Jessica Williams, who worked for Jon Stewart and now Trevor from The Daily Show.
Oh, right on.
And I think, she worked until 2016.
Solid chops there. There's
Yeah.
all comedic.
And this is a great story. Chris O'Dowd from the It Crowd is also in it.
The IT crowd?
Yeah, the IT crowd. Sorry. But from the IT crowd. And so he plays also a very charming, fun character. This movie, it takes place in New York. And I don't want to spoil anything. I don't know. It's just delightful. It's fun.
It's all about love and passion.
Is it okay, about to ask.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, I mean, romance is part of it, but the other part of it is like finding your passion and being comfortable. You're never going to be comfortable pursuing what you love. Like it's always going to be tough. But if you love it, you love it.
And that's what kind of got to me personally. Like I'm like, that message just kind of really resonated with me. But yeah, well, overall, Pat, what did you think?
I thought it was good. To be honest, I did kind of forget that I watched it, but at the same time, like I will say that it was a good movie.
What an endorsement!
Yeah, I mean, I gotta be honest. Like,
to be fair,
it's a good movie, but I feel like it can kind of be swept under the rug in a sense.
Well, I beg to differ. I don't know. I recommend it. I don't know. Check it out. It's on Netflix.
I like this. Differing opinions.
Yeah. Well, hey,
we usually do.
Yeah. But definitely, I don't know. Check it out. I actually finished watching the season, and I have because they put it on Hulu. Atlanta.
Oh,
heard of it?
So good.
Yeah, the creator Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, he FX gave him the show about like trying to become like people becoming rappers, but just like the storytelling in the show is incredible. Like the humor in it is very like unique and awesome, and it just feels real, and it's just, I don't know, it's really cool and creative. He
won the Emmy for that this year, I believe.
He did.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend this show too. I just kind of I stopped watching it because at a certain point because I just couldn't get to it through my devices, but they finally put it on Hulu, so and I got to sit through the rest of it, and it's just really good. I really love the show, so I'm excited that they're gonna do a season 2 starting next year.
Excellent.
The other thing that I watched was Battle of the Sexes.
Oh yeah, I watched that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you were excited to see that. You were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Is that because you've already seen it, or you saw it and didn't like it? Like I want to
both.
hear. Oh, you guys was disappointed with it?
No, Andy liked
No,
it.
I really enjoyed it. I think the performances were amazing. Steve Carell did his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Emma Stone did her thing too. Like it's they definitely focused that it was a true event, and I just really appreciated how it was like done, and especially like the last tennis scene, the way that you shot that felt really real. Like I was like watching an actual tennis match, and it really felt like they were in shape to like keep up and how they played against each other, and it was really, I don't know, I really did like it. But yeah, I mean, I'd recommend it.
Yeah,
Check it out.
I mean, it's really good for, it's a really good movie for like feminists and stuff like that, because the whole movie's about trying to achieve equality. Like that's the whole.
I mean, that's the story.
That's the whole gimmick. Like,
gimmick
what the main thing that I like about this movie, I mean, and it's a true story, so I guess I could say about the actual people. Sorry, so it's Billie Jean King and it's Bobby Riggs. So I love how like Bobby Riggs is an obstacle, but he's not the villain. He is the main obstacle, but he's not the villain, and that's kind of like. There's not too many movies where that's the case. Like usually the main obstacle is kind of like seen as like the villain in a sense.
It's a subtle difference between, and I think that's difficult to portray in a lot.
Yeah,
of
it is.
movies, so
it is very hard to portray.
It's funny because like I think it's like that kind of goes into like the privilege, you know. I feel like for this guy Riggs, right?
Mm-hmm. Bobby Riggs.
Like it was more of like he can do this because he is privileged. Like he can, make a bet for this innocent person. Like so, it was like more of like a show for him to put on, rather than for Billie King.
Billie Jean King.
Yeah, for Billie Jean King. Where for her it was
a lot on the line.
Yeah, there was a lot on the line. This is like it was for her. It's like this means a lot to me. This is my life. Like I'm fighting for equality.
Yeah, because that was a big moment in women's rights. Was that
just in history. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was a fine movie. I guess I was hoping for like a little bit of a twist in a sense. But I mean, I know that must be weird saying because it's a true story.
I'm trying to imagine what the twist would be.
Like, I can tell you afterwards. But yeah, it was fine. Both the actors did really good job. All the characters were pretty cool. Sarah Silverman's in it. She's enjoyable to watch. I was kind of like a little bored with the tennis because they always won with like a net shot. Even though like that, I understand that like that is exciting. Like it's just like I'm watching the same point over and over again. Yeah, but the tennis choreography was a lot better in this movie than in previous movies I saw. So I have to give them that.
I wanted to ask, as a tennis player, what you thought of it.
So as Andy was saying, it looks like you're watching a real tennis match in a sense because it's a high upward angled camera shot.
Oh, like exactly like
in tennis. So they could do like a pretty easy job of having stunt tennis people like without probably look very similar to Steve Carell and Emma Stone. So I'm pretty sure that's the how they got around that.
Cool.
Because like most actors.
That's a clever.
They suck at looking good at surfing and tennis, as far as I'm concerned. Football's the only thing actors can do right, as far as I know. But
the helmets. That's the easiest one to swap people out.
I'm making the prediction. I have a feeling that this will definitely get some nominations for Oscars, like performances and possibly Best Picture.
I'm disagreeing with you on that one.
Well, we'll have to.
Well, I mean, performances possibly. I wouldn't be surprised if like Steve Carell or even Emma Stone get supporting actor, actress, or actor.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't agree with you.
What are you guys gonna put on the line? Let's make a bet out of this. Make this interesting, boys.
So it's just like one, I lose. Like if one gets nominated, I lose. Like that is that like the bet?
I don't know. I'm just trying to spice it up a little bit. I don't know.
Anyways,
you seem confident.
I'm gonna.
You both seem confident, and I wanna profit off this.
Yeah. Anyways,
viewers, comment in below what you think they should bet.
I'm gonna comment
of their lives, or perhaps something less.
All right.
We're gonna start at lives, though.
And then someone's gonna move on.
Okay.
The last thing that I am currently watching, I watched only the first part of it, but I'm gonna finish it tonight just because of time. I started watching the first Blade Runner, and I forgot how good that movie is, and I'm watching the final cut version because there's been so many different cuts or versions of this movie. But yeah, I found this on iTunes, and I just kind of started watching it because I'm pretty sure we're gonna end up reviewing this for next week, so I kind of want to just refresh my mind and enjoy it. But overall, that's what I've been watching.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Anyways,
Now
My
it's
sentiments
time for Kingsman. I thought we were all going to do that together. Kingsman Golden Circle.
You were doing a fine job on your own. I didn't want to interrupt.
But yeah. So, Andy and I not too long ago watched the first Kingsman. And we were like, hey, we got to watch this movie.
Riveting.
So, yeah.
yeah. I thought it was really fun. So I for the longest time wanted to see it. So I'm kind of glad that we got to see it.
The first Kingsman?
The first one.
Yeah, the first one was great.
Yeah.
I love the first one.
But yeah, so I was excited to see this one. It's the same director, Matthew Vaughn, for both this one, first, second one, and he is just an incredible director. This guy knows how to do amazing action.
These are some of the most fun action movies I've seen in a while.
It's a pretty fresh take on like a classical kind of action theme, super spy.
Yeah, super spy, but it's like ultra fun, ultra violent.
Yeah,
like it's a lot of fun to watch.
There has to be a name for that kind of ultra violent, ultra whimsical style. Like I'm trying to. We'll come back to that, but
so real quick, I'll read the snippet of from IMDb.
If you guys haven't seen, there'll be spoilers ahead, so just be.
Yeah. So it says that when their headquarters are destroyed and the world is held hostage, the Kingsman's journey leads them to discover an ally-spied organization in the U.S. These two elite secret organizations must bond together to defeat the common enemy. And it's starring who is it? Colin Firth and
Yep.
Colin Firth is Harry Hart.
Harry Fart.
Harry Fart is how I pronounced it earlier. Taron Egerton as Eggsy. That's the main protagonist.
Yeah.
I forgot what was their code name.
Galahad.
They're both Galahad.
Yeah.
That kind of leads to some, I guess, plot points. I was gonna say comedic points, but I don't think that actually ever drives any comedy.
Colin Firth got shot in the head.
Yeah.
That's why they share the same name.
So the reason why we're mentioning that now is because he was in the trailer, so it's no surprise that
Yeah.
because some people were just like, "What? How's he in this one?" And
He had an eye patch. That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
They put an eye patch over the hole, and he's good to go.
So before we go into spoilers, overall, what do you guys think of the movie?
I liked it. I thought it pushed the kind of silliness a little too far in some points. What I really loved about the first one was, it was over the top, it was action packed, and it was whimsical on top of that. And I feel like this one had the same elements, but they like cranked up the kind of like silliness to 11 on this one, and kind of left the other values the same. I don't know, from like a balancing perspective. So I would have maybe like to see that dialed back a bit, but at the same time, once you kind of get in there and accept what the movie is, and you know what you're in for, you can really enjoy it. Like I had a really fun time watching this movie. Like I liked it. I would recommend it. So, but that's just my kind of like my initial reaction from seeing it.
Okay, cool. I was actually very happy with this movie because Andy and I came in knowing that the Rotten Tomatoes review was pretty low for this movie. I think it was like around 50% or whatever.
Oh, really?
But we were still both jived about it. That's kind of like one of the first movies in a while that we were both like confident, like, hey, I think we're both still going to like this, even though Rotten Tomatoes is saying otherwise. And that stayed true for me. I actually really enjoyed this movie. I do have some negative points about this movie, but I thought we would talk about that later.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, let's see, compared to the first one, I don't know. I guess they're almost kind of the same to me in a sense. But I love the action in these movies. I keep saying that these are the best action movies since the remake of Judge Dredd. I still think that's like the best modern action movie we have is Judge Dredd. Or it's just called Dredd, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's just called Dredd.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dredd, which was, it's one of my favorite
great,
action movies. That's also another hyper-violent action movie too. But these were a lot of fun. The choreography and stuff is a lot of fun to watch, and they do like kind of like the Baby Driver thing, where a lot of their action scenes are pretty much driven around a song. You know, like they must have had to get in like some music rights before they did this movie or something like that. Mm-hmm. So, and Elton John was a lot of fun. One of my favorite scenes is when he does that slow motion high jump kick into the dude's face.
He just looks right at the camera.
Oh, he's like super like into it.
Well, let's get into spoilers then. So we can just...
Wait, what did you think about the movie?
Yeah, what did you think? Come on.
I feel like the same. I feel like the same. I definitely like the in the first one, like in the second one, about the same. Cause it just continued the kind of style of it, which is for me, it just I don't know. It kept the gag going, or it kept like the fun from beginning to end in both films. So I kind of really had fun with this one. Again, there are some things that like I do question, about this one, but we can get more of that. Yeah. Talk about more of that into details. But overall, I think it was a solid film. Again, I'm amazed by like the action that was in this. But yeah, so spoilers.
Yep.
Let's start with the first scene. I'm surprised that they actually put in a Prince song, which is one of the controversial things that they talked about.
Controversial?
Yeah. How so?
Because while Prince was alive, like a lot of his music was not in any films. Like
really? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was unaware of this.
So now it's for sale.
And so now so now that he passed away, this has been a movie in like a long time that has featured a Prince song, which is Let's Go Crazy, which is a fantastic song. And so that first opening sequence in the car, which was an amazing shot sequence.
Really liked
that was great.
To a song Let's Go Crazy. So it's kind of... So to me, this is interesting. That kind of did a lot of controversy with the song being used, but it's kind of like one of those things where like
it's kind of fair game. I don't think that should ruffle too many people's feathers.
I think the reason why it did ruffle some feathers is because like if he was still alive, what would he want, right? And
we break those rules like all the time.
Sure, but I mean,
us three have probably done that. We probably shit on so many people's graves by doing something someone didn't want to do.
Damn.
I'm just saying.
No, I mean you're probably right, but
there's no way to dodge some bullets.
I think the sensitivity here just comes from the how recent it was. You know, I mean it was a year and a half ago.
Something like that.
I think that's enough time, personally. We should probably move on.
Well, that's the thing. That's a big thing about that was talked about.
Yeah, I wasn't even aware that was like.
Yeah, I didn't think that would be
about it.
A big deal.
Yeah, so that was surprising. So. The other thing that was kind of really random is that Channing Tatum was also in this movie.
Channing Tatum!
And
briefly,
he was in the poster and everything. And
big part of the trailer too.
Yeah, and he was in the right, but like but the poster, everything, the trailer. We only get what how long do you guys think we get him for in the movie?
I like on screen time
less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes max.
Because he gets that he introduces, I guess when they're introduced to the U.S. statesmen. Yeah. That's where you first meet him, and they have that little cool fight scene, and then after that, it's like...
That's pretty much it. Yeah. He basically is like, hi, we're statesmen, and then he comes down with the sickness. With a big... just real quick, just to explain, a big part of the movie is... a woman who basically has her hand over every drug cartel. She's like the master drug distributor.
Yeah. Who's played by Julianne Moore.
Lovely Julianne Moore. And she essentially poisons all the drug supply and then holds everyone hostage and says, legalize all drugs so I can be an official businesswoman and all that kind of stuff, or... and I'll give everyone the antidote, or I'll just let everyone die and it'll be your fault. And she kind of gives that ultimatum to the president. and Channing Tatum is revealed like before the very first mission. He's like coming down with signs of the sickness, and it's like, oh nope, he's out of commission. We're gonna put him in cryo freeze like the whole movie, and that's it.
I think the story behind that, I think it was due to scheduling. Like somehow he got overscheduled, and he couldn't fulfill that whole thing. Because here's the funny thing: in the poster, he's holding a lasso, and in the movie, he fights with like a lasso. But then we have the character Pedro Pascal, who plays Whiskey, and then he is in it and has a lasso. So who knows? They might have.
Wait, did Channing Tatum actually have a lasso in the movie?
Yeah,
no, he
or
just
like
fought with
the whip or the.
I thought he just fought with the gun.
I thought he just had that shotgun. I thought
he
that was
just
the
had
only
like
thing he ever
the
had.
lever action rifle. Like that was it.
Didn't in the first when the fight scene didn't he like.
The
Nope.
first fight scene, he has just the rifle.
Just the rifle, and then that's it.
Okay, maybe I'm confusing with the poster because in the poster he's holding the lasso, but then the character Whiskey is the one who is the holder of the lasso, and he just wrecks crap with wrecks
that
shit
was
all over.
that was a great fight scene by the way in the bar.
Make him look like a badass with that,
Yeah.
just wrecking stuff. But yeah, and then that actor, he's in Game of Thrones and stuff.
That's oh my god!
that's Oberon?
That's
it's
where I
Oberon.
recognized him from. Holy
dang
shit!
it.
It was
Yeah.
like on the tip of my tongue the whole movie.
They give him a good
all right.
Burt Reynolds look.
Thank you.
Yeah, they give him a good Burt
Yeah.
Reynolds look. So I love this character. And
Yeah, no, great. I like the character.
Is
as
he
well.
American?
he is one of the statesmen. He's Latino. In real life,
Like, I mean, born in America, though.
I think I don't know about that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, here's the other issue that I kind of found with it. So in the first Kingsman, a bunch of people's heads blow up,
Yeah.
like celebrities and all that, and I think so they don't really cover any of that in the movie, or you don't see any repercussion from that, or
It's just celebrities.
or the repercussion of in the first one how they had the rage thing where they kept fighting each other, and so they didn't mention any of that either, of but
They alluded to it a little bit.
Yeah. I mean,
when,
first of all, the people that had their heads exploded, I think those were mostly just, rich, politicians. They weren't, there wasn't, too many, famous people in there, right?
Yeah,
it
was a mix.
it was a mix. Yeah.
But they did kind of. So in the scene when they're talking about, so the statesman, it's found out they have Colin Firth, who in the first movie was shot in the head and is presumed to be dead,
Right.
and it's revealed that they picked up on the low frequency beta wave. I don't remember
From the first movie.
From the first movie, which led them to Colin Firth's body.
I honestly thought that was a pretty nice connection, to be honest.
It was a good tie-in,
Yeah.
that wasn't just ignored by the statesman. That it was on their radar, but it was definitely handled by the Kingsman. A good way to kind of tie the not universes, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was revealed they have Colin Firth, and I thought there was a good little transition there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I really liked it. And again, the cast is just really goes on. You got Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
You got Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
I'm honestly kind of surprised we didn't talk more about how Halle Berry didn't really do anything in this.
She was the guy behind the computer. She was that's
She
what
didn't,
that's what Merlin did. That's what
Merlin held a
this-
fucking gun in the fucking first movie.
Yeah, well, okay, all right. Well, the whole point was she was kind of building up to that. That's where the movie ended. Was she became an agent for the statesman? You know.
And I think that's another controversial thing that was mentioned about this movie. Do you think that it's not giving women the right?
That's what I've been
representation?
saying.
Right.
The
because in the
what was
first
that? What did you say?
the right representation, they're not represented as well as they could be. So Patrick,
I've been on top of this.
Yeah,
shit.
you have some thoughts.
Okay, all right.
Because the first
Lay it on us.
movie, I think that's totally the case. Because there's they're friends, right? The female one, I think she's becoming
The Kingsman also. Right?
yeah, I forgot that her nickname.
Roxy was her name.
Yeah,
I
Roxy.
can't remember.
Oh.
Lancelot. It was Lancelot.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. That was Percival or something. Okay, whatever. They both kind of they're both going through the training or whatever, but he all the attention's almost always on him, and of course they do the one parachute thing, blah blah blah. But she doesn't really do anything cool. Like, of course, like, sure, she goes up in space and shoots a rocket, but that was nothing compared to what...
the dodging bullets.
Yeah, the crazy shit.
Them up. Yeah.
Like, so I felt like she was, like, really overshadowed in that movie. In this movie, like, she dies in the first 10 seconds, whatever. It doesn't matter. But, like, Halle Berry doesn't do anything really that significant either. Like, I understand you're saying she's the guy behind the computer or whatever, but, like, Merlin in the first movie, like, did more than Halle Berry did in this movie.
No, that's true.
Like, she never... Like, there's no scenes, like... The only, like, redeemable woman is Poppy, the main bad guy in this movie.
I'm not arguing with you that it doesn't have, like, a balanced representation for women. I agree with you there. Like, there's not a single one of, like, the high-ranking Kingsman cabinet members that's a woman. Yeah. I saw one woman in the Statesman, like, hologram.
No, there's actually quite a few in the Statesman holograms. There's, like, 3.
Okay, but they don't do anything. They just flash on screen.
They just flash on screen, yes.
But, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I really just think they're setting up Channing Tatum and Halle Berry to be prominent figures in the next installment.
Okay. I'm down with that. I honestly kind of hope that Percival or Lancelot, whatever, is going to be, like, the bad guy in the next one. Because if they keep on doing, like, this weird, like, revenge thing where, like, you didn't save me, because, like, what the one guy, what's his name, Charlie, whatever, the robot arm dude.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He thought he died in the first one, but he didn't. Like, I kind of hope, like, that just keeps on becoming a recurring theme.
That's just everyone you think is dead just comes back.
But like, Percival or Lancelot, whatever she is, like, just has beef. Like, well, you didn't come and save me? And just, like, it gets all crazy and shit. Like, I kind of hope that's what happens. Like, I hope, like, the movies keep on tying in from, like, the previous movie. Like, kind of how they did with these two. But yeah, another big disappointment. Can I go into disappointments since we're already on the train?
We're just talking about it. Conversation.
Even though I love the ending fight scene, I really love it. I thought Whiskey being like the bad guy, like his reasoning, I thought that was pretty weak. Like more money, like it didn't feel like his character. Like it felt like really pushed all at the end there.
What do you mean more money?
That's like the whole reason why he was betraying the Kingsman.
He had the same kind of logic as the president. He just thought all drug users should be like...
Yeah, but that was like the side reason. The main reason was like money.
Oh, I thought the main... I thought the main reason was because of like the loss of his...
pregnant wife.
That was part of it, yeah. But the other part of it was they would all be dead. No one would be able to use drugs anymore. And then... alcohol is like the only substance left for people to abuse that isn't poisoning people, which is what the statesmen are making money off of. And I don't understand how whiskey... Like, why do you need more money in the first place? You're, like, at the Statesman with, like, the craziest technology ever.
I think their profits was, like, $3 billion.
Yeah, it's just, like...
But I still think it has to do with, like, his revenge, you know?
I'm with you on this one.
I think that's even what's his revenge.
I still think that's
shock
pretty
they
weak.
used to, like, give his memory back after the whole...
trauma.
It was literally just a picture of his dead wife. Or, you know, that was all it took. So that was, like, a very personal thing for him, you know? Like, I think... I mean, literally, you know, they had to, like, they filled the room with water, they threatened to shoot a puppy for Colin Firth, and even that took time, and this, they just showed him a quick picture. So you know that's, like, a real deep personal wound for him.
So that's kind of why I think it's just in a Rampage, like, I don't care anymore, like, any drug user, meth user, whatever, I want them all dead because of, like, the damage they did, and, you know.
But
that's my perspective, what I think.
I don't know. I felt like it was almost like too convenient then, in a sense. Like someone happens to be killing all of them, and then he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna secretly help this person." Like, there's so many like there's the whole thing of like he could have killed James Bond way earlier before, you know, he even.
Well, he didn't want to kill James Bond. He didn't want to kill, you know. Eggsy in the Kingsman. He just wanted all the drug. He just wanted them not to save the drug users, and if that meant he had to, you know, off them at the very end, then
I still think that's pretty weak.
I mean,
it honestly felt.
No, I mean that's your right. Like that's.
But I honestly
think
thought the fight scene between the three of them was
fight
pretty
scene was
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah. The end where they like slam dunk him into
God.
the meat grinder.
Yeah, that was
awesome. That was,
They
the whole
did not-
theater was like, oh!
They did not hold back with the meat grinder. Like, just in the first time to use
I was
it.
totally reminded of Fargo.
Oh, man.
With
Oh,
the
yeah, you
chipper.
know.
Oh,
Dude, as soon as I saw her, when she said, "Oh, my orders are absolute," and she walked past a like industrial-sized meat grinder, I was like, "Someone's going in that."
Yeah.
Like, so,
Yeah.
for sure.
man, just that whole, like, testing out your loyalty and, like, the guy having to kill his friend and, like, putting him in there and then, like, having to eat.
Yeah, eat the burger that she made out of
Ah,
it.
man, that was brutal.
Yeah.
That was brutal
It's
to
funny.
see.
I don't think I'd have a hard time eating that burger, to be honest.
If you threw Andy in a meat grinder, not just a random person, because that guy they established they were lifelong friends, and like he just threw him in the meat grinder. Would you eat an Andy burger if it had Andy's rub?
Probably.
Yeah.
I think yeah. Yeah. I think I would. I think I would eat
You sound like you're like
any
really
burger that was
seriously
placed in
considering
front of
this.
me. I think I would eat.
Any
It.
burger
Halfway
made-
through it,
any
this is
burger-
Andy.
As long as it tasted good.
Any
Go
burger
for another
made by
bite. Oh,
Julian
that's so
Moore.
bad.
I don't know what human meat tastes like, but if it
Apparently,
tasted
like
fine.
bacon,
Okay, then I'd probably love it.
which is kind of it's kind of like concerning.
Man,
Like, I kind of want to like
no.
give it a shot.
We're not gonna get into this. We're not gonna.
We already did, Andy. It's too late. Like that dam has been broken. Like,
Oh, man, but
but so I thought also in the movie there was kind of an interesting political kind of sphere this was all taking in the whole like legalization of drugs and like how alcohol fit in, and there's just some points that Poppy was making that it's definitely a debate in modern times, you know, and the president kind of saying, oh well, yeah, fuck drug users, like let's just let them all die anyways. I think was kind of really not to get too political, but like really representative of kind of our drug laws and how they kind of persecute innocent people as well as the people who are really like providing drugs to the street. And I mean, when the one secretary was saying, what about just like high functioning professionals who and people who are self medicating and all that kind of stuff, and the guy's like, fuck them. Like I thought there was an interesting political point there, and then it almost felt strange at the end that they were essentially like, okay, all right, everyone, we saved everyone. No one's gonna do drugs anymore, right? Let's stick to booze. And it's like, it was just like, what? That's not the right message. Like, come on, what are you talking about? And I don't know. There was like I couldn't tell if it was trying to make a political statement or not. And just to throw this out there, the only news channel featured was Fox News. Just gonna throw that out there. But
do you think that the president depicted in this movie represented Trump? Like, do you think there was like a
Oh, I didn't think so.
I don't think it represented Trump, because this man formed like coherent sentences. I think it was more just kind of like a Nixon-esque like war on drugs kind of personification.
Okay.
Because it's like pretty much the only interactions you see with the president were regarding drug policy and like him like literally locking people in cages when they're like, oh, we need help for the antidote. They just put in huge cages, and I kind of loved that. I loved the like the scale of that kind of stuff. Like once you suspend your disbelief, it's just kind of like, yeah, that's hilarious.
Loved how goofy they made the disease, like the dancing disease or whatever.
Yeah.
They're all just like
Oh, it's
dancing.
grooving.
Oh god, that was hilarious.
People are like hashtagging it, like, oh, blue rash,
Yeah.
like Glastonbury, and it's like, what
No.
is wrong with you? Yeah. Yeah, but what do you guys think about that? Do you think he was trying to make a political statement, or was it just kind of just by proxy that it was going to happen with a plot like that?
I think there's some intent
Mm-hmm.
for a political statement. Because you did make a good point that there's a bunch of different characters with a bunch of various views. Like there's whiskey who's actually affected by drug users. There's just the president who just thinks that anyone who does anything illegal should just go to hell. Like that.
Yeah.
That was kind of like his stance, right?
Yeah.
But then there's like people that are like, well, I have to work or like ridiculous hours and I need something to help me get through the day. And then, so
and even the statesmen, they said, like, even if they did something wrong, they're people.
Yeah. Everyone has
treat them like
I think with the fact that they provided, enough variety of viewpoints, I think they are kind of doing a political statement in a sense. Maybe not as much as they probably could have. Like, they probably could have tackled it a little harder, but I think that would have taken away from the crazy, zany funness of the movie, though.
I agree that any more kind of diving into that subject would have detracted from the funness of it.
I mean, it could have maybe made it a better movie, but it wouldn't be the movie I was going to see, though.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to sit on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Like, that's what
for the most part, it really was.
Yeah.
There's some great action scenes.
Do you think the movie the director went a little too far with like some of the decision makings, like the whole the finger condom and that whole thing?
I didn't give a shit. I thought it was totally up its alley after ending with butt sex.
Right.
No,
after ending
true.
was like.
But in this kind of conversation, we're talking about the representation of women in the Kingsman movies. It did feel a little. What's the word I'm searching for? Just a little crass, but at the same time, I feel like that did fit in. Like
that's kind of like its vibe. That's kind of their
yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't mind it being like that, but like
it almost
having
like
two movies where they do have like main female characters, but then those female characters don't really do anything cool. It's kind of like. Yeah, it's like only the bad women were like the ones who did cool stuff, like the sword girl.
Yeah, she was awesome. She was so cool.
And then, I mean, I can't say Poppy really did anything cool, but I liked her character.
She built a $250 billion like profit empire.
Yeah. Right. She had like a crazy 50s themed
that was
like hideout.
That was
like
wild.
I thought that was
in
cute.
like the Cambodian ruins had
has
diner
Elton John constantly.
That was hilarious.
Let's talk about Elton John real quick. How I was so surprised, like how well of a role, how they fit him in so well, and how enjoyable it was seeing him. And the whole thing. I think my favorite part was just like when they're demonstrating like
I was about to say
him cussing out the
get out of the room.
Yeah. It was so great.
Elton John was definitely
definitely
smiled.
Added to the flow of this movie.
But then again, going to like if the director went too far, I'm so happy that they made the joke of like, oh, you saved the world, like I'll give you an inch to the back, to the backstage pass. Right.
He gives a little kiss.
And then like him just jumping in like when they're fighting against the dog robots that are scary as hell. Like I was terrified by those things, but like him just like showing his face to like protect Galloway. It was just
Galahad.
Yeah. It was just so great.
Yeah, that was actually kind of funny.
That was a goofy moment.
Yeah, you kind of think of Elton John as serving in the movie, serving no other purpose than kind of just being like, oh look, there's Elton John, like haha. But then, like they actually brought back a mechanic that like surrounded him. The dogs were programmed not to hurt him, and he dove in front of them. Yeah, it was just a prop.
Yeah, forgot what they called it though. And you just listened to a podcast.
Like a specific film term.
Yeah.
And he laid on us.
I don't remember.
Just like a quick little
cameo.
Oh yeah.
That's what that's what you were insinuating.
No, exactly.
And then again, thinking about it, I'm really upset about Marilyn.
Like, everyone is.
I
you have
upset,
to be.
Like
they had to tug at your heartstrings.
I know, but look, like okay, so you know how like Julianne Moore, she would say, okay, someone's coming in, turn off the mines.
I was thinking that too.
Right. But of course, like the Kingsman people don't know that going in that they can turn those off. But still, I'm like,
I guess a little bit where my beef lies is that they have the craziest technology.
Sure, that's true.
And the best they can do for a mine is like, well, we can freeze like the trigger for like half a second.
Yeah.
I mean, they had like a liquid plastic grenade, like a suitcase that was a machine gun that also turned into a steel shield.
I mean, they're not like Batman where they just have a belt like with like
everything.
With everything like carousel reversal spray.
Well,
you know?
All I'm saying is, if they're gonna bring a minesweeper, why not bring something to deactivate a mine? But at the same time,
It's kind of like eating healthy, you know? Like, you think you can get around all these diseases, but hey, maybe one's going to hit you, you know? You don't know.
Fair enough.
They were just hoping to avoid all those ones.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Just on a little side note, when we're talking about Merlin, it is something in my own life. I have heard that John Denver song, Country Roads, so much
That's
recently.
another thing, too, that was like, so that's another thing that's been talked about music-wise in the movie. Because I saw earlier this year another Channing Tatum movie that had that same song.
Oh, what movie was it?
Logan Lucky.
Logan Lucky.
Yeah.
And then Alien Covenant.
That had it too?
Yeah, that's the song she sings to bring them to the planet.
Really?
Yeah, she's going, and then Danny McBride is like, I know that song anywhere. I know John Denver anywhere. And he sings the rest of Country Roads. And then, totally unrelated note, my friend was telling me that he was in Portland and he was in China. He spent some time in China, and that song is huge for karaoke in China. Who knew? Country Roads, John Denver, big in Chinese karaoke.
I think it had to be also was like the price of, I think something was the price of getting the rights to play that song, like has gone, has.
Oh, maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been utilized
Interesting.
so many times this year.
Everyone knows it. I mean, everyone knows the tune.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But that became like the theme for like the statesman in this particular movie.
It really did.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it really was their kind of theme.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyways, any final thoughts or?
I liked the movie. It definitely had some things I think could have been done differently. But all in all, I had a really fun time watching it, and I really enjoyed the action scenes, and I really just kind of. Just say it again. Just had a lot of fun watching it.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, I was done.
Okay. Yeah, it's one of those movies where you kind of expect, you know what you're gonna watch, and it didn't disappoint.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a thrill ride for sure. I don't expect anything too mind or brain boggling. You're there to have fun, and it is a really fun movie, and it's definitely not one that I'm gonna forget about too soon. So.
Yeah. Again, I thought it was really fun. I'm just, like, I love how there's things from the first one that are also in the that are introduced in like this one are still part of it. Like, sure, like for Eggsy's relationship, like the princess like did the whole anal thing, but I think it was really cool.
I was like, what was it?
Yeah, sorry. The gag, the joke.
It's a good metaphor for ending our show.
But anyways, I like how they actually established an authentic relationship in the movie with them too, and it felt real.
I thought that was so weird.
That was funny.
I liked it. I'm like, all right.
I basically viewed that as like a 2-part joke. Like,
if
the first movie ended with that, and then they're getting married in this movie. Right. Like, oh shit. Like,
and then the last thing is why we mentioned Samuel Jackson. I loved how like he was in the movie for a little bit in the second one. And in the credits, they're like, a special dope thanks to Samuel Jackson, which I thought was really well appreciated.
Respect.
And respect.
Yeah, Andy and I started freaking out.
Yeah. I'm like, yep. So kind of what inspired the question for today. It's like, yeah, you gotta thank Samuel Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Always do, even if he's not in the movie.
Yep.
Special thanks.
Or Michael
just for being there. Thank you, Lawrence Fishburne, for a dope scene. Oh my god.
Terrible.
No, that's bad.
But yeah, so that is overall review for Kingsman: The Golden Circle. Any thoughts or questions or just comments, please go ahead and subscribe and comment. And if you want to email us, you can always email us at iwanttotalkmovies@gmail.com. So
I'd kind of love it if we had something like XX69 I want to talk movies 69XX at like yahoo.com or like AOL.com or something. I think we should rebrand.
Let me think about that. Yeah, all right. Well, thanks everybody.
Good night.
Bye.